if dog defenders are going to assert that dogs are domestic animals, the domestic dog, as they call it, then okay, if that's true, then what about domestic violence? Definition of domestic violence: it's a pattern of behavior, physical, sexual, verbal, emotional, financial, spiritual, used by one person to control another person. While people use dogs, and dogs themselves commit what I just read. Physical, yes. Attacks, knocking people over, maiming children, killing adults. Sexual, oh yeah. Adults allow their dogs to hump their kids. Whether or not they actually have the definition of sex with the kid, then it doesn't matter. It's still abuse. Allowing your dog to hump your kid, that's abusive. Financial, yes. You're forced to spend all sorts of money whenever you get a dog. Vet bills, fire insurance for your house. You have to constantly replace the stuff that they chew. You have to be indemnified in all kinds of different ways by owning a dog. Spiritual, yes. As a human, your place on this earth is to be part of your fellow humans, to possibly reproduce, to possibly help raise other children, to impart your wisdom on other humans, to help propagate the wisdom that other humans give you. When you own a dog, you're just worshiping a dog. So yes, all of those behaviors are in domestic violence as well as dogs. One way to think of these behaviors is as tactics, actions which are chosen and planned. The abuser is not out of control. The abuser is trying to control the victim. That's like dogs too. Dogs are kind of out of control, but for the most part, people just kind of tolerate it and they adjust their behavior for the dog. Oh, well, we better get home early because he might chew the couch. Oh, we better change up our house a bunch of different ways so our beagle won't jump up there and start a fire with the toaster. So, yes, the dog is controlling the human because the human has to constantly adjust for owning the dog. Here's another definition. It looks like pretty close. Economical abuse. Yep, you're forced to spend money on stuff that you don't need for sake of the dog. Emotional. Yes, you have to change your life for the sake of the dog, especially in relationships where the husband or wife has too many dogs and it's bothering the other person, and the husband or wife or mother or whoever, uncle-in-law, will refuse to adjust their behavior at all for the sake of the person that doesn't like the dog. So that's emotional abuse. Physical abuse, yes. Dogs are constantly physically abusing people. Sexual abuse, yep. And there's also the pet lure that many dog owners use to commit sexual abuse. Psychological abuse, yes. Just like emotional abuse, you're living in fear or anger because you need to do it this way, do it that way. Otherwise, the dog owner will be upset. You better allow them to have another dog or they might suffer. Oh, like parents that are constantly allowing their kids to get another puppy. They will say, "Oh, I didn't want my kid to suffer." They're trapped in this psychological trickery of dog ownership. So if you're going to call dogs domestic, you're going to say that they are part of the home and the family, then all of this violence that they're doing on people, all of the violence that people are allowed to do to each other, such as parents are allowed to kill their own children because the dog did it. So many children are killed, and then the parents, they suffer only the loss of their kid, but yet they just murdered their own kid via a dog. So, the definition of domestic violence is violence or other abuse that occurs in a domestic setting, such as in marriage or cohabitation. Domestic violence is used as a synonym for intimate partner violence, which is committed by one of the people in intimate relationships. Okay, intimate partner. Have you ever seen the way these dog owners act? Literally making out with them, constantly sleeping with them, cuddling with them, and even performing bestiality and getting busted. So, yes, domestic violence absolutely fits the definition of what dog owners do with their dogs. And notice they say family member. Okay, dog owners consider their dogs family member. He's family, he's family. That's your sibling, that's your brother, that's your fur mama. I'm a fur daddy. So, if you're going to call dogs domestic and use that word to make them seem all great, then you better also be fair. And when all these dogs do violence, domestic violence is very it's looked down upon very heavily. Yet dogs get to be domestically violent? No. If you're going to have that definition, then you better take the responsibility that comes with it. I think anytime there's a dog attack, this number should be called 1-800-799-SAFE. Domestic violence against women. Women are constantly being attacked by dogs, their own dogs, dogs that they are babysitting for a friend or family. Your friend, your family that put you next to a dog without researching the dangers of a dog, they have, via a dog, committed a domestic violence against you. So, you want to call your dog domestic? It's time for them to step up and also take responsibility for that definition.